A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down.
The Lord promised better things for us, okay? Because the Lord, YAHAWASHI, has a favorite people. And He's going to give this favorite people a heavenly kingdom. A kingdom that's blueprinted and formatted and patterned after His mind. How He want a kingdom to be.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing His word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, pushing to get up out of there. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bashem, Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, we respond to a post, put up by the beloved elder brother Shaquat, all right, out of here from down here in the Mississippi camp, GMS Mississippi camp, and his channel, the GMS dedication, subscribe, and be edified. Now I want to touch on Hebrews chapter 2, all right, the first chapter in the GNT. All right, it says, when you read it, Hebrews chapter 2, verse 1 in the GNT, it says, that is why we must hold on all the more firmly to the truths we have heard, so that we will not be carried away. Okay, and this is a time, in which, the devil is pulling out all stops. Okay, he's pulling out all enchantments. He's going to bring, a time, of difficulties, the straight gate, okay, for people to fold and accept his NWO, all right, which is the C-hip. So we have to understand the times that we coming into, we really have to hold on more firmly to the truth, to this belief, and this is what Yahawashi was speaking of in the book of Revelation, all right, chapter 2 and verse 25. All right, let's get this real quick. The GNT really, expounds, all right, on the book of Revelation 2 and 25, because we're coming to a time where the Lord is going to allow, our faith to be tested, and we're going to have to believe in the truth in the midst of the most chaotic, okay, tribulation that the earth has ever seen. We're going to have to hold on to truth, man. Even when, we're in these dire straits. Okay, so when you go to Revelation 2 and 25, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Okay, and the challenge, okay, is going to be to hold on to this truth in the worst case scenario. You see, right now, we still have, convenience, certain comforts. Okay, we look at the prophecy and see things jumping off the page. Okay, but there's going to be times when, we can't watch the news and see prophecy happen. Okay, we're not going to be around the brothers, might not even be able to be in contact with the brothers. Do a live stream. We're going to have to hold on to the truth in that time when we just out here, man. Whatever scenario the Lord has us in, that's when we're going to have to hold more firmly. And see, that's why now is the time for us to be rooted. Okay? So that's why I say with that which you have already, so we already have it. Okay? But that which you have already, hold fast till I come. Okay? So what we already have, we are commanded to hold fast to it. Okay? And this is what we're doing in the spirit. We're holding fast, all right, to what we already have. Okay? And that's why this grace period is so important, to be rooted. Okay? Verse 26, and he that overcometh, okay, and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And you read this in the NLT: to all who are victorious, who obey me, okay, who obey me to the very end. You see, who obey me to the very end, to them I will give authority, okay, to them I will give authority over all nations. So we have to stay obedient, all right, in the worst times, even if it means death, if it means being homeless, if it means, losing a family, okay, if it means being in pilgrims in the earth, okay, if it means going to detention centers or concentration camps, we still have to be obedient. That's why Yahawashi said, "What, be faithful unto death." And the reason we're obedient because we know that He is, and even in death we win, and we got to hold on to that belief in the worst circumstances, man. Okay, and we're coming into a time, all right, where all these things, that we profess, all right, will be tested. Okay, everything that we, confess that we believe, the Lord is going to test and see if we believe. So that's why this grace period is vital, okay, for us. All right, when you go to the book of Colossians, let's get this in the book of Colossians. You see, we don't want to use this grace period, all right, and not to get rooted. There's a lot of Israelites that's not rooted. They know that they're Israelites. They go through the motions, okay, they know the lingo, all right, but they're not truly rooted in Yahawashi. They're not being built, to remain faithful, okay, in the clutch, okay, when things aren't so, convenient. You see, there's a lot of Israelites that are Israelites by convenience, okay. This is this is Colossians chapter 2 verse 6. It says, "As ye have therefore received Yahawashi, all right, the Lord, so walk ye in Him." Okay, and this is a lifestyle. See, all these Israelites that are just here based on gimmicks, they here because it's trending. They here just to be a part of a new community. Okay, based on a baseless brotherhood, a baseless sisterhood. You're really not rooted. You're really not understanding what you're a part of. You're really not tapped into the world to come. All right, it's just something you do on the side. You can have some new friends to talk to about particular things, but you're really not rooted in what Yahawashi is doing real time in the earth and what He's getting ready to bring to the earth, man. Okay, you're really not dead to this world. Okay, what the idea of being an Israelite sounds cute when things are convenient. You see, because when you go here to walk, all right, this word walk in the Greek,
Strong's G 4043. Peripateo.
All right, it says Hebrew for to live. When you go to definition B, it says to regulate one's life, to conduct one's life, to pass one's life. Okay, so the way that we regulate and conduct our life is all rooted in Yahawashi. And it comes with certain sacrifices now, man. See, the Lord has us sacrificing, things now, preparing us for the major sacrifice, in the time of the hour of temptation. And there's a lot of things that people, don't want to deal with, the sacrificial aspect of the truth, because we don't sacrifice animals anymore, okay? But there's certain things that is required of us in the ministry that we have to sacrifice, man. Our time, our space, you see, resources, okay? We have to get uncomfortable, for the ministry's sake at times, okay? Certain losses, that we go through, and it's all based on forwarding the ministry, man, forwarding what Yahawashi is bringing to the earth. You see, so this is our life, okay? And there's drastic moves and decisions that we make now based on what, man? Okay, our faith in Yahawashi. You see, so going back, verse 7 is one of the main points. It said, rooted and built up in Him, established, okay, in the faith as you have been taught, abounding therein in thanksgiving. See, this grace period was for us to be rooted. Okay? A lot of Israelites, they're not rooted, man. Okay? If you follow on ISUPK, you're not rooted. You're all over the place. Okay? That's why Jake is talking about a farm and my business and your business and how long the black dollar stayed in the black community. That has nothing to do with Yahawashi. Okay? And if you're following those men, you're not rooted in Yahawashi. You speak bad on John the Baptist, or saying you serve the nigger God and all. There's nothing to do with Yahawashi, man. Okay, you're still rooted, okay, in gimmicks, man. You see, we're going to see the difference between those that's rooted in Yahawashi and those that's rooted in gimmicks. Okay, as the Lord allows this devil to put more pressure in society, then we're going to really see. Okay, so let's go here to the word rooted in the Greek.
Strong's G 4492.
Rizao. Okay, it says to cause, to strike the roots. All right, to strike roots, to strengthen with roots, to render firm, to fix, to establish, to cause a person or thing to be thoroughly grounded. Okay, so this grace period was for us to be rooted, man, to be thoroughly grounded in Yahawashi, man, understanding what we're a part of, understanding what's to come. Looking at death differently, looking at, loss differently. Ain't no losing, man. Okay? And you can lose a family on this side, all right, and get 1,000 families on the other side. Ain't no loss, man. But see, we gotta be rooted in that belief. Okay? The Lord said we're not gonna starve to death, man. So that's gonna affect, if we believe that, that's gonna affect our decision making. We gotta be thoroughly grounded in that, man. The devil gonna be making threats, and you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, what did the Lord say? We gotta be thoroughly grounded in what thus said the Lord. The Lord said his servants gonna eat, his servants gonna drink, his servants gonna rejoice. Okay? While people are suffering, man. You see? So we really have to believe, we have to be thoroughly grounded and rooted in that. Okay? Go on here. Alright, then you go to this word built up. Because the whole purpose of the ministry is what? To edify. Alright? And you go to this word in the Greek for build.
Strong's G 3618. Oikadameo.
Alright, which is we get this word economy, I want to say. Alright, but it says to build a house, to erect a building, which we know the house of David, is being built through teaching, man. To build up from the foundation, and that foundation, that chief cornerstone is who? Yahawashi. Okay? Everything we do is based in Yahawashi. You still got Jake that disrespect Yahawashi and he shouldn't be worshipped, and there's a lot of Israelites that's not built on their foundation. These Yah Israelites all over the goddamn place. Okay? Absolutely no foundation, man. And that's why in the times to come, hey, the scriptures say these houses shall fall, all right, immediately. Okay? It says to restore by building, to rebuild, to repair. So in this grace period, we've been restoring. Okay? We're being restored back to the Father through Yahawashi. Okay? The relationship of the elect. Okay? And how about Shema Shai is being restored. All right, what the Lord expects from us as His people, our brothers are of the elect. There's an expectation that's being restored that we're coming back to. Okay, and it's all based in Yahawashi. All right, so that's why, when you go here, get this word established in the Greek.
Strong's G 950. Bebayao.
All right, it says to make firm, to establish, to confirm, to make sure. Okay, because this devil, like I said, the Lord's going to allow the devil to bring out all stops. Okay, and we're going to have to be established when the debit card don't work anymore. Okay, It's going to be established when the lights go out. You see, cold nights, hot summers, man, whatever it might be, man, we're going to have to be established and rooted. You see, when the stomach is growling, and then we don't know what's the next move. You see, but we have to have, a foundation and faith in that He is. Okay, and it's all on His timing. Okay, and we're not forsaken. Okay, that's why Scripture say what, in your patience. Let's get there in the book of Luke, chapter 21 and 19. It says, "In your patience possess ye your souls." Okay, you read this in NLT. It said, "By standing firm, you will win your souls, man. Remaining faithful." Okay, because see, this time that we're coming into is all about trying to break our spirit. This devil, he wants to break the spirit, okay, of the earth. A lot of people, their spirits are broken now. They're ready for the taking. Okay, they're ready for anything. All right, niggas waiting on the rapture. Niggas waiting on the stimulus check. Niggas waiting on anything. Okay, because this man has broken the spirits of the mass, and it's gonna be more broken spirits. Okay, as the time of tribulation intensifies, man. But we have to be patient in the fire, man. And it's all about being grounded and rooted now, being conscious every day, being a little more rooted than the day before. That steady progress of being more established and being more fixed in this than the day before. And it's preparing us for what? That major storm. Okay? In which we won't be moved. Matter of fact, let's get there. We end there in the book of Luke, chapter 6. And verse 46. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 46. "And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?" Okay? "And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?" Because there's a lot of Israelites that know that they're Israelites. They even know the names. They know the lingo. Okay? But their life is not rooted in YAHAWASHI. It's not rooted in obedience. Okay? It's not rooted in them having to sacrifice. Okay? It's rooted in still in the convenience of this world. Okay? It said, "Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings, and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like." All right? So those that hear the word and doeth them. Okay? Really apply this thing, man. Okay? Even when you feel some type of way, you apply the wisdom of the scriptures. Okay? And it says, "He is like a man which built an house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock, and that rock is YAHAWASHI. And that storm, okay, is the tribulation, which Esau is going to be at the forefront of this storm. Okay? And it's going to be, different scenarios, man. It's going to be back to back, like Job. Job's situation was back to back. Okay? Calamity on top of calamity. All right? And this is the times we're coming into. Okay? And it's the ultimate test. Okay? It's the ultimate trial of our faith. You see? Verse 49 said, "But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great," man. And there's a lot of Israelites that are built on no foundation, man. Okay? Like I said, ISUPK. No foundation, man. Okay, you're talking about a farm and a business, and you letting Jake, control the conversation, talking about some goddamn oil. Okay, IUIC still teaching in Christ, man. It's not no foundation. Still changing the doctrine all over the place. No foundation, man. Okay, Sakari, you ain't even got to mention. All right, they're just an atrocity, a walking atrocity. Okay, when you say the name Sakari, man, you just think of pure madness, but no foundation, man. Okay, and many other, stray Israelites, that's on social media, just roaming the earth. They're not built on anything, man. Okay, and tribulate, because that's what tests your building. When you build something, you really don't know how reliable it is until it rains. Okay, until some winds come through. When you build something from scratch, it can seem like, okay, I'm good, but it ain't been tested by adversity yet, to see if it's thorough or not. And that's what the Lord's going to do, in these times of trying. We're going to be tested to see how thorough we are. Okay. And Yahawashi, man, the Lord will we persevere. Those who sincerely and are serious minded about this thing now. Okay. So that was the point, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters was edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful and solid one.